Hey all, it's 012boku coming at you again after quite a while in time. Sorry, did not mean to be gone for so long, but coming back to you with another movie review, and this time it's going to be Deep Blue Sea. I didn't really give this theme last time, or if I did, I apologize for saying it again, but Deep Blue Sea is basically going to be a part of what I like to call the monster animal slash movie things. These are the water portions of them, as I like to call, where I just reviewed like Placid last time, and this time I'm doing Deep Blue Sea next to Sharks. And to just give you a heads up, I'm going to be reviewing Jaws and Jaws 2, just for, you know, posterity reasons, if you guys are ever curious, for anyone who watches these videos. And today, with Deep Blue Sea, just telling you about how the movie is. Now, this movie it's good. I will say it's good. I like it a lot. I will admit it is corny. The effects are pretty corny in this movie. The CGI is, you know, you look at this movie, it's very outdated. Sad to say that some of it probably still looks better than some of the stuff we make today, or maybe that's just me, but that's what I think anyhow. And with that, you know, there's a lot of other things that go into it, and it's really cool. But this film, just like I said, good, just corny and weird at times. So, I mean, what can you say? A movie made by 1999 by Rennie Harlin and Warner Brothers. Once again, good film, interesting story, corny premise. Basically, the story is about this research team that's trying to cure Alzheimer's by using shark brains to do it. And they have this team of Generation 1 and 2 Mako sharks that they illegally used. The two main doctors illegally used basically gene therapies to increase the shark's brain mass, and as a side effect they got smarter, and they decided to terrorize everybody, and they know how to think and plan and organize, and, you know, really good monster movie science fiction stuff. So just sort of good corny B-premise movie, but it's a good thing. This movie stars see here, let's see, in this movie, Saffron Burrows, who plays Dr. Susan McAllister, is the main doctor in this movie. She's a hard-edged scientist who wanted to increase the shark's brain mass to make them smarter, to get the Alzheimer's thing going, because her company is in trouble her science facility is in trouble because they have not produced this Alzheimer drug that they promised to this pharmaceutical company, Chimera Pharmaceuticals, and Chimera Pharmaceuticals is asking her why it's done, why isn't it done, and how come they don't have it. So she's just racing against the clock. She's really a hard-edged woman, and she claims to care about her team, but there's points in the movies where she really doesn't, and she's really just all about herself, and, you know, she really, really is selfish, and, you know, she's really that type of character. You know, you may like her by the end, you may not. I really didn't. I think basically what happens to her in this movie is just desserts, so I won't try to say it, but, you know, for anyone who wants to see this movie, you know, go see it. And once again, as I've always said, if you don't like really watching movie reviews, probably shouldn't watch them, because the review does have spoilers in it, so you may not want to completely watch this once again, if you don't like spoilers. And then let's see, we have, oh yes, Thomas Jane, who is one of my favorite characters in this movie. He plays Carter Burke, who is a, I have to say maybe prison or jail convict, one of the two, who got in trouble for doing some illegal things outside the law. And he is a fish wrangler here. He helps with catching the sharks, and he's a tough, you know, street smart kind of guy who really has a background for how things work. And even though he's not a scientist here or an engineer or anybody, he really has a smart attitude and knows his way with these sharks or how things should be done, and he's just a very smart, awesome guy. Thomas Jane plays him very well. Once again, this movie sort of makes you wonder, this movie, Dreamcatcher, The Punisher, and a few other films Thomas Jane were in, he was really starting to build his career with these films, and recently he's just disappeared off the map, so I once again wonder, what happened to Thomas Jane? Really just seems to, disappear, and he's such a great actor. And then we have, let's see, LL Cool J, who plays the cook preacher in this movie, who is wisecracking, basically cook, who has a bird who basically insults him, who calls him a lot of expletives, which is funny, and the bird's voiced by Frank Welker. And preacher is this guy who always prays to God and, believes in the Lord and, with a cool style and attitude. Plus, he has a lot of funny jokes he says in this movie, and he basically, at points when the sharks get into the facility, when the facility starts flooding because of an accident the sharks caused, he gets terrorized by them and, is going through all sorts of hell with it. It's really just really funny what he does in the movie. So LL Cool J is another funny and good character in this movie as preacher. You have Jacqueline McKenzie, who plays Janice Higgins. She's a partner with Susan, and she is just one who helps study the sharks and who helps get things going. She's like a smart, healthy girl who just wants to move things along. She's also in many ways a audience type character in this movie with how she feels and how she feels towards things, and Susan McAllister when stuff goes bad, when stuff's good. Jacqueline McKenzie's character as Janice really helps move the audience's fears and feelings along. So that's what her character represents. And once again, another cool character there. You have Michael Rappaport, who plays Scoggins, who's another comic relief character. Scoggins is an engineer who basically designs things at the facility, keeps them working, designs the pens for the sharks, and, did all these different things. And he's got, a good friendship with Carter. He's got a good friendship with Preacher. And he's just the guy, once again, who I believe represents the audience through comic means where, he's happy about how things are going at the beginning, and then really sad and angry about how they are at the end, and fearful. And, Michael Rappaport just does a great job on the character of Scoggins, which is really awesome to see. And he's one of my favorite characters in the movie, because, Michael Scoggins really just brings a lot of good comedy and things to the film, which is awesome. And let's see here, we have Stellan Skarsgård, who is Susan McAllister's partner, who plays Dr. Jim Whitlock. And Dr. Whitlock is basically, once again, the second in command to Dr. Susan McAllister. Him and Susan are best friends, and they worked on this together. And sadly, he was also a part of building up the shark's brain mass to make them smarter, to harvest more of this protein that they needed for the Alzheimer's disease cure. And, they really did not think this thing ahead and through. And sadly, Dr. Whitlock, who is a part of this, is basically a starting catalyst for things going bad, because when they're actually experimenting on the shark at one point in the film, the shark wakes up from being tranquilized and bites Dr. Whitlock's arm off, which prompts them to call the Coast Guard. And then when they're trying to get, Dr. Whitlock to the Coast Guard and airlifted up from the water facility from the helicopter, stuff goes bad from the helicopter. Whitlock goes down into the water, on his gurney, and the sharks grab his gurney and they throw his body into one of the underwater viewing mirrors that they can view things going on, with the facility and the sharks, which then cause the sharks to flood the facility and get the story in motion. So sadly, that's what, Dr. Whitlock's character is a catalyst to, other than helping Susan with this project and doing the things that they shouldn't have done with science and altering the shark's brain. And then there's, let's see here, Samuel L. Jackson, believe it or not, who once again is, as you can see, is not very highly billed on the main character list of this movie, but he still is a pretty big main character nonetheless. And Samuel L. Jackson is a character named Russell Franklin, who is the president CEO of Chimera Pharmaceuticals, who basically brings up this problem of the sharks escaping from the Aquatica. That's the name of the facility. The Aquatica facility in the beginning of the film, and he questions Dr. McAllister about it and how the medicine of the Alzheimer's isn't ready, and he's saying we're going to shut you down, but Susan McAllister invites Russell Franklin down to see things for himself, which Russell Franklin does go down to see, and he looks at things, and he's a little, like, surprised by the project, but also weary of the project as well, and how things are going, and when things go bad, he really is sort of like a leading guy to get things started, to hopefully get these people out of here and alive. And Russell Franklin's character, is just a really cool guy who you enjoy, and Samuel L. Jackson's really good as the sort of serious and sort of comical on the side, but also, like, I don't know what I'm doing here type of corporate suit, which everybody really does make fun of him because they know this is the guy that's possibly going to shut them down within a few days' time. So, that's his type of character. And overall, like I said, Deep Blue Sea, it's got, really good action scenes. It's actually got quite a few scares to make this like a type of action horror movie, which makes it enjoyable. And once again, if you can get by the corniness of the CGI and things like that, it's, it's really good because the story's actually pretty decent. It's got a good science fiction edge to it. It's got really good characters who you would like to see through, but you don't know if they're going to really make it through or whatnot. It's just a really engaging, fun movie that I enjoy. I mean, now granted, I know a lot of people don't like this movie as much because they thought it was cheesy, they thought the premise was cheesy, and I'm like, I just looked at it as, like, this is how Jaws was made, this is how Bruce was made. Because even though Bruce is a great white shark, it's like, if you make like your own what if story with it, well, what if a great white shark was there, they experimented on Bruce, and Bruce got out, which is why I sort of watched Deep Blue Sea before Jaws. But even though I know Bruce is a evil shark that, you'd probably say was created by the devil, but that's why I like to associate with that, because I give it like a what if thing, like what if Jaws is experimented along with the sharks, which is what made Jaws, well, Bruce, I should say. Jaws is just the name of the film and explaining the shark, but what if they made Bruce like that? So really it's just a fun way to look at it, but overall I really enjoy this film, and once again, it's got corny bits, but I really like it. I think Rennie Harlan totes this film pretty high up on the special features, but once again, it's his film. I hope he's happy with it. Not telling you, Rennie Harlan, that it wasn't bad or anything, but once again, you gotta even look at it somehow nowadays and go, it's corny. But still, great film, Rennie, great film. And let's see here. That is basically it for this today, and I will catch you guys later, and I will be coming at you with another film at some point soon. Alrighty? Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.